Ready to find your flow? AFSA's got you covered.
That's right. The hands-on training lab in Richardson, Texas is where you trade PowerPoints for pipe wrenches. Real tools, real systems, and real experience you can actually use.
And if you're ready to test your skills, check out the hands-on NFPA 25 workshops, where you'll inspect, test, and maintain live sprinkler systems and fire pumps. No simulations, no fluff, just pressure, flow, and know-how.
It's the perfect way to get under pressure without cracking under it.
So get fired up and register today at firesprinkler.org. Spots fill faster than a charged branch line.
AFSA, where you don't just learn the code, you live it. Welcome to the K-Factor podcast, where we turn up the heat on all things fire protection. Brought to you by the American Fire Sprinkler Association, this podcast sparks conversations about the latest technology, trends, and tools shaping the industry. Join the AFSA tech team as we fan the flames of innovation in fire safety.
Welcome to another episode of the K-Factor podcast and AFSA Tech Talk. We've got Nate. Nate's not with us, so Eric's on the controls, so bear with us as things go on. Not calling you out a little bit, but kind of calling you out a little bit, Eric.
It's all right. That's all right. We'll figure it out.
But we have the pleasure of talking with one of our good friends, Jarrel Kadavy. He's with the Zurich Insurance. Zurich
Resilient Solutions.
Resilient Solutions.
We're part of Zurich North American Insurance Company, though. Yeah.
Awesome. So, think it's a good, I guess, a good conversation to have for some of our contractors that may deal with the pesky insurance. No, I'm just kidding. The insurance, or really, I guess, an authority having jurisdiction, which we can talk about a little bit after. Kind of give them the perspective on your side and kind of see what you're doing. So, what's your title and what do you do?
So, I am a middle market account engineer. Basically, that means I'll visit with our customers, explain our, I guess, interpretation of NFPA, do plan reviews to a certain degree. Less of a plan review and more of a just reviewing the specs to see if it meets our standards. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of how I would interact with a contractor.
So not necessarily by name, but who are your customers?
Who are our customers?
Yeah.
We could have any commercial company, hotels, manufacturing, warehousing, pretty much anybody.
Okay, so like building owners, you're taking a look.
Yep. We have a whole lot of real estate customers.
So what is your normal day like?
Normal day, I don't think there really is a normal day. I work a lot with our underwriters, and kind of risk engineers are kind of the boots on the ground, interact with the customers on a daily basis. So, you know, I'll be talking to one customer about a hot work program, and then 30 minutes later talking to a contractor about what we'd like to see in a sprinkler design. Okay.
So you said you kind of plan review, and you've also mentioned your interpretation of NFPA.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Could you explain a little bit? What is that? What do you mean by that?
I guess that's a good question. I guess NFPA is what NFPA is, but we just help interpret it to someone who may not understand NFPA. I mean,
it's a little bit of education.
Yeah, a little bit of education. Yeah. And I guess insurance, loss control type people get a bad rap for being pickier than, HJs or fire marshals. But I see it more as we typically will go with the most recent edition of NFPA, and a lot of jurisdictions have adopted older codes that aren't necessarily up to date. So I think that's kind of where I don't know, in my opinion, we get the bad rap for being picky.
Yeah, go a little bit above. Well, yeah, we're on the 2010 edition of NFPA 13, and this insurance person comes in and does their analysis to the 20. What are we at now?
2025.
Almost 20. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, do you only follow the NFPA standards?
For the most part, that's at least the starting point.
Right.
I mean, if there's not an NFPA code to something, then we will get into other standards.
All right. So, what do the boots on the ground, the risk engineers, what are they getting in? What's their day look like?
So, their day, they go out, visit customers, complete risk assessments, evaluating sprinkler system, looking at the construction, storage arrangements, things like that. They're
like a hazard analysis.
To a certain point, yeah. So they're collecting data and then completing a review to see if the specs that they found on site meet what NFPA says and building codes, things like that.
So to make sure that that property is protected appropriately, right? So I mean, ultimately, as the insurance carrier, I guess if bad things happen, you're stepping in.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, especially on the real estate note, I mean, there could be tenant X in there today, and 10 years from now, it's a different tenant with different storage arrangements and different occupancy. So we just make sure that the sprinkler system matches what's in there today.
Okay.
So it's a more holistic approach than to what's in the building, and then you're a little bit freer to navigate between the standards. You're not necessarily tied to the scope of, say, 25 or 13. You're kind of looking at anything that can affect the building, the property, losses, things like that.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
So I'm going to go a little bit off track here. If you were a NFPA document, Jarrel, which document would you be and why?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably NFPA 30. Just because I'm a wild card, you never know.
Oh, so you're combustible.
I'm combustible.
You're you're ignitable liquid. Is
Yeah.
that what you said?
Exactly.
I mean, hanging out with you a bit prior, that's probably an accurate statement. Right? And you're also, I guess, you're also a code book then, and not a installation standard.
Absolutely.
Oh, so you're top of the line.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Yeah. You know me well enough.
So, what are some of the biggest things that you notice when you go into a build or your customers, right? When you're taking a look at the review, what are some of the most common issues you run into? Or I say issues, but things that they can improve upon.
Yeah. I mean, I think getting the insurance, when they get the insurance company involved, is usually the biggest concern. I mean, we don't create the drawings. We just review them. And if installation's already started and then we have some input, it's gonna, if they choose to follow our guidance or our recommendation, it could have to uninstall. They could have to delay the project, things like that. So I think the biggest issue or problem that we see is when we don't get involved early enough.
So ideally, when would you get involved?
Day one.
On new build?
On a new build. As soon as the drawings are completed, send them over and we can provide some guidance on what we would like to see. I mean, from what I see, there's not a whole lot that we disagree with necessarily from the designer. It's just, again, what edition of NFPA are they using?
Okay, so minor, maybe minor some design or pressure changes. Design pressure changes. Wow, that took a little while for me to get out.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just trying to wrap my head around the process there. Now, but you also look at existing systems.
Yep.
What's
that's
your
probably
biggest problem?
90% of what we look at.
Okay.
What's our biggest problem with that?
Yeah.
Change of occupancy.
Okay.
I know I kind of alluded to that already, but there's a customer X moves in and they just assume everything's good to go, but they're storing product, 5 feet higher than the last tenant was. So NFPA is not exactly NFPA, their storage arrangement doesn't meet NFPA. So that's kind of the biggest thing we see on existing systems.
So when you find that, what is that conversation or what's that process look like?
So we just explain to the customer, like this is what we're seeing. We recommend either lowering storage arrangement. We try to find the most cost effective and realistic solution. And so we'll explain to the customer, this is what the storage height should be. This is why, based on NFPA, based on whatever other guidance. And this is what we'd like to see. But, the best case scenario, we're able to provide a solution where they're not having to make updates to the sprinkler system. They're just able to make some management controls that can change that.
What kind of interactions do you have with contractors?
There's not a whole lot on the contractor side. I mean, we mostly work with brokers and the insured or the customers. And so the only time I really interact with them is during the plan review.
Okay.
And I guess I didn't answer your question earlier. You said what is our version of a plan review?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Red stamp it.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, we just review existing systems. We don't have any PEs on staff. We're not doing any designing. We're just reviewing existing designs.
Okay. So and hopefully you're early in the process where you can kind of steer that customer to talk to the contractor that's designing it and get them in the direction that you would think would be a better protection scheme.
Yep.
With looking at those existing systems, how much are y'all diving into the ITM stuff?
From a high level, I mean, we're making sure we're reviewing all their test records and making sure they're hitting all the points in NFPA 25 that's relevant to their
right.
occupancy.
How much interaction are you having with the contractors from that perspective? Is there anything that we're seeing as a trend?
I mean, very little interaction with them. We just receive the reports and reviewing to make sure there's anything that's not being done correctly. We'll throw the calcs into a water supply analysis tool and make sure that everything's tracking there. I mean, go ahead.
When you look at the reports, is there anything that you see commonly and you're like, I really wish as an industry we could get better in XYZ?
There's nothing really that jumps off the page to me that I see consistently. It's just random things. I mean, the fire pump tests not being done correctly, or it not meeting the 150 percent test, and there's not the appropriate tag applied to the system, just things like that.
So on the insurance end, you're hoping to get to 150%.
Mm-hmm. Ideally.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not necessarily gonna discredit the whole system because of that, but it's going to be something that we're going to track year over year and see how things go. Yep.
So I think it might also be important for the listeners to understand. So we talk about insurance. What kind of insurance? You said commercial properties, and we've alluded to it, but what you also mentioned hot work permits.
Yeah.
And what kind of insurance are you primarily taking care of or looking at and helping that process with? Yeah.
So, I mean, stepping back even further, I mean, I'm part of our middle market team, which does property and casualty insurance. So, I mean, we're talking property protection, business interruption, workers' comp, general liability, whole 9 yards there. And so, yeah, it's any kind of commercial property. We'll do on-site inspections or risk assessments is what we call them, but we also have some services as well. So, stepping back even further, we provide cyber coverage. That's a big thing right now. We have engineers that specialize in cyber protection, and they can complete their analysis. That's not my realm, so I don't know a whole lot about that. But
I thought we were gonna get some AI insights from you.
I wish I was that smart, but but we have our business interruption team that can complete a BI analysis. We have a lot of customers that maybe are misreporting business interruption values, and that's where our experts come into play, help them better understand what that means and how they can better control their business. So
what do you mean by business interruption?
So business interruption comes into play whenever there's a disruption in business. So say a building burns down because their sprinkler system's not adequate.
Hopefully only partially being the insurance company.
Yeah.
Not a full burn down. We're talking,
Yeah. But so that's where business interruption coverage would step in and help them get back to where they were before that interruption in their business happened.
So you maybe mitigate it or try to adjust. I guess it would be really hard to do without an example, right? I guess if I had a storage warehouse. Yeah.
So from a high level, reviewing the customer, see if they have a written business continuity plan that lays out, we have a warehousing occupancy. They import product from one place, it's delivered to one location and then distributed to several customers. Do they have a redundancy in there that if they lose this supplier, is there another supplier that they could tap into to get their supply with minimal business interruption?
So there's always a term that's brought up, and I think you even see it referenced in 25. AHJ, authority having jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
does the insurance company fit under that, in your opinion?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, I don't think we...
Grab the definition just so we can...
Okay. Yeah, let's pull that up. So I think to a certain extent we meet that definition. I mean, again, we're working off NFPA, so the fire marshal and local jurisdiction, they're gonna have the first say in what they want to see because it's in their jurisdiction, right? So you want to read that
for
to
sure.
us?
So I would love to read this to you. Nothing more I'd like to do. No, I'm just kidding. Right. So the authority have a jurisdiction, or HJ as we call it. This is based on NFPA 25. An organization, office, or individual responsible for enforcing the requirements of a code or standard, or for approving equipment, materials, and installation or process.
So yeah, I think where the insurance company would maybe come into play is the approving of equipment, materials, or installation. I mean, we aren't going to necessarily require anything, but we're going to, say this is what we recommend, and this is why we'd like to see it this way. So
ultimately, as a customer, right? Ultimately, that's their decision to make these changes or not.
Absolutely. Yep.
You come to, we keep bringing it up just because it's kind of fun. The K-Factor warehouse, and we're storing Group A plastics about 75 feet.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really going to go down that rabbit hole, but it's a warehouse.
Right.
And you come to us and you say, all right, we would recommend that you do X, Y, Z. And for some reason, the people at the K-Factor podcast in their warehouses are a little bit hard-headed. And they're like, yeah, that's cool, but we've been doing this a while. We're not going to do that. What happens?
Yeah.
Right?
So, I mean, we I guess plead our case and explain why we would like to see it a certain way. But at the end of the day, I mean, we're not the ones spending the money, and it just kind of is what it is. And then that goes over to our underwriting team, and that's kind of outside my jurisdiction. So, yeah.
Oh, and then so now you're the AHJ.
Yeah, there you go. No longer the AHJ. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. We have a technical team that kind of sets the standards of how we look at things, and they're staying up to date on all the current test data of different things. And I mean, NFPA is only updated every 3 years, right? So there could be things in the works that even I don't know about because I'm not on any committees or anything. And so we may be recommending things that aren't necessarily in NFPA yet, but will be likely soon. So, yeah, again, we'll explain this is why we want to see it, but at the end of the day, we're not going to require. They don't want me to have that kind of power.
Oh,
so.
Fair enough. I don't disagree with no. But I guess it's fairly similar to the residential insurance market where I say no. You have an opportunity to say, okay, then we can't insure that, right? Because it's too much of a risk. Or, okay, we'll take on that risk, but let's increase the cost of the premium.
Sure.
Right. Ultimately,
that's outside of my realm. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
that's what our underwriters are for. We kind of our job stops at the reviewing of the system, and sure, we'll explain to the underwriters as well. This is what we're seeing, and this is why we want to see this. But yeah, that the premiums and deductibles and all that, that's above my head.
Fair enough. So what got you interested in insurance, and then what hooked you?
Well, you got me interested.
Well, yeah, I was there.
So I always wanted to be a firefighter. I had a couple uncles that were firefighters, and my parents told me that's great. We'd love for you to be one, but get a degree just in case you get injured early in your career and can't be a firefighter anymore, right? So went to Oklahoma State because that's where both my parents and a lot of my families graduated from. Go Pokes.
Go Pokes.
But then, ran into you, unfortunately. You started making me hang out with you, and then you got it.
I forced you to, okay.
No, so and you were in insurance, and you told me, hey, we've got this new training program for health and safety. Would you be interested? And that's how I got in the door with Zurich. And because of our degree in fire protection and safety, they I kind of cross-trained over to the property protection side, and that's just kind of where I've been hanging my hat lately. I still do both property and casualty, but property in fire protection is what I enjoy the most. So
what got you hooked? Like, what were you like, okay, I can be here for a little bit?
Good people, honestly. Yeah. I've had good managers since I've been with Zurich. So, yeah, I mean, not to do a big Zurich plug, but we have people that have been in with Zurich for 30, a couple guys even 40 years. And so I think that culture is kind of what's hooked me. I've been with Zurich my whole career, and guys and gals have come from other companies that have been in the industry for that long as well. So
you're almost an old head now.
I know. Yeah. About to hit 10 years. Yeah.
Oh man. So we don't really talk about it much, but I think it's good for people to understand fire protection as a whole, really life safety as a whole. So what did you do on that casualty or safety side? What were you looking for there? What's different from what you're doing in property?
Kind of the same structure to a certain extent, but we're just looking more at the safety of people rather than, I mean, fire protection safety is people, safety of people as well. So, I mean, that's a certain aspect of the safety side, but it gets more into the employee injury, slip, trips, and falls, strain, sprains are pretty much any industry. Those are the loss leaders there. So how can we reduce? They're going to happen, but how can we reduce the frequency and severity when they do happen? So
what was your approach with that?
What do you mean?
Like how did you, said, how, well, if you've seen us in our lab, right? Slip, strips, and fall. No, I'm just kidding. This is a safe lab. We take care of that. No. But what's your approach there?
Yeah. Okay. Let's use the lab as an example. I mean, you're flowing water, so water is inherent, right? But do you have grates that collect some of the water so it's not just pooling on the ground?
Of course.
You have wet floor signs. You have mops. You clean up in between every class, right?
We probably could get a wet floor sign.
Yeah. Yeah. So
cuidado piso mojado.
Yeah.
For our Spanish listeners.
Yeah, that's kind of the route you go there. It's just reviewing the operations. So what I like to compare it to is that show How It Works or something like that. You just learn as much as you can about an operation and where things could go wrong. I mean, we're not industry experts for every customer we see, right? So you listen to the customer, hear what they have to say, explain what you see as your health and safety brain. What can make this a safer operation? They say, well, that's not realistic for this reason. So then you just kind of have a conversation about what could make that work.
So do you do any education of customers in either? Because I know you said you talk to them and you provide your. Is there an education point?
Absolutely, yeah. So we aren't just Hector the inspectors or complete risk assessments.
Just Jarrel the inspector. No,
that's right. Yeah. So no, I mean that's kind of what we really enjoy doing. I mean, me personally, I'm in it because I like people. I want to keep people safe. I don't want to see them injured and the rest of their life, have a injury that's going to affect their quality of life. That's why I'm in it. But the fun part is the training side of it. So going out to customers and explaining, we have a 10-point slip, trip, and fall program on how to make a safe workplace. And that's where I think we can really hit home with the customers, explaining to them, this is why we see it. This is how you can make it real to them. This is how we can make it safe in your workplace.
So when you're out on site, are you doing property and casualty separately, or are you doing those as a joint thing? How does that work? I mean, it sounds like we've got our hands in a few different pots.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of the trick. I mean, we don't want to disrupt the business. We don't want to take somebody's whole day, but if it is possible for us to review property, so property, business interruption, product liability, workers' comp, all of those on the same visit. So
just a few things.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the more experienced you get, the more efficient you get with your time. But, and there's some overlap too. Like I said, like sprinklers. I mean, first things first is life safety. We want to if there's a fire, get people out of the building, protect the people. And then we want to focus on that property protection piece. So, My strategy, sit in, have a conversation with the appropriate people. I mean, the safety director, the building engineer. A lot of times CFOs, CEOs like to be a part of those meetings and just discuss, what we're there for, what we'd like to see. And then we kind of just dive in and start walking through the building.
Nice.
So have you seen AI change your world any, or do you have any predictions on what it can do?
Yeah,
or new technology in general?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of cool tools and projects in the work. Probably a lot that I'm not even aware of, but
AI Jarrel?
AI, yeah. I'm not. I'm a bot. I'm not even a real person.
Wow, we got good voiceover here.
Yeah,
Eric, you're killing it on the mixer, dude. I take back what we said earlier.
No, I think AI is the future. It's gonna make our job a lot more efficient. We have new report formats that are coming out. More efficient way of doing things. I mean, AI, who knows, maybe it'll put us out of a job one day. No, all of us.
Come on. Not all of us. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I think, in my personal opinion, no matter how good AI gets, you'll still need the human element to review and fact check AI. So I think we're safe for now.
Yeah.
But we have lots of cool programs. I mean, COVID kind of forced us into the remote collaboration, I guess you can say. We video call into a customer. So on the recommendation piece, they say we go out and do a site assessment, and we say, you gotta review your plastic pallets, drop them down below 5 feet and we're good. And the customer says they did it, and say, okay, great, let's hop on a video call. And just show me what you got going on. And then on our side, we can mark that as a completed recommendation.
Yeah, versus waiting around maybe at the site. Oh yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, waiting around or going back on a complete other visit weeks down the road and wasting their time again.
So you said it's kind of like how it works or how it's made, the day in the life for the most. So what are some of the cool or maybe some of the hazardous things, without obviously diving too much into detail, that you've gotten to see being in your role?
Oh, there's lots of different products that I've been able to see. I mean, I think just the whole injection molding process is interesting to me. Yeah, all that can go into that, and just the different equipment that people have dreamed up and make their jobs more efficient, right? I don't know. The manufacturing is probably one of my favorite industries to review.
Behind the scenes, seeing how the widget actually gets made. And there's a lot of things that you probably just don't even think about.
Yeah.
What does that process look like?
Yeah, any random product. I mean, there's
a water bottle.
Yeah, a water bottle. Yeah, how many different companies make the pieces of the water bottle, right? So yeah, that's the cool piece of the job.
So injection molding, when you look at something like that, what are you looking for?
From property or casualty or both?
You could go. I mean, you are one of those. We joked about the pesky insurance guy, and kind of internally, he's one of those safety guys, right?
Yeah. That's right. No, I mean, so we'll just talk. Is it a hydraulic equipment? Is it electric? How is it driven? If it's hydraulic, what kind of combustible fluids are used? Compare that to NFPA 30. Is there sprinklers? What do the sprinkler design look like? What's the water flow? All that side of it. How hot does the machine get? Like, is there exhaust blowing outside? There's so many different points to look at. It can make it difficult to cover everything, but again, with experience and the more you see, the more visual it can get, and being able to spot things quickly.
So it's kind of hard for our ITM technicians because we kind of teach them of, the design and installation standard. However, that can't go as a deficiency on your report because you're doing an FPA 25 inspection. We kind of like try to separate that because it's a lot of liability for them if they're calling out a design recommendation, but they're doing a 25 inspection. And I guess your comment of, is it casualty or safety? Some of our experienced ITM technicians, it's hard to shut that switch off. And that's a lot of times I think in our report writing, or if we're looking at some of the reports that we have an issue with because they toe the line. Is it hard for you to shut your safety mind off when you're on a property visit?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's impossible. I mean, it may not be related to Zurich necessarily, but if I see something that's completely unsafe, I'm still going to say something. I'm going to say, hey, I know this isn't really my place to say this, but you know, I have your employees' best interest in mind. This is why you might want to take another look at this.
It's a little shout out to our lab. We've already walked through the lab and he hasn't said anything. So
yeah, I was saving that for after.
Oh, no, fair enough.
I'm just playing.
But kind of tongue in cheek, they talk about safety people and they always, when they walk into a building, they're looking down. So they look crazy. Fire sprinkler people look even more crazy because they're looking up. If you're both, what do you
keep your head on swivel?
So you just you're just all over the place,
just going, looking,
like a toddler.
Exactly. Yeah.
But from what I'm picking up here, the nice part is you kind of fill an interesting gap that is almost left in the scope of 13 and 25, because 25 says, hey, you're looking at the system as it's installed. We're not really looking for the design issues. And 13, once the system's designed and installed, that's kind of where their involvement ends, unless they're actively in a improvement project, revamp kind of thing. But what you were talking about earlier is going in and looking, hey, does the storage arrangement still meet what the design criteria was for that system? So you're kind of filling that gap between the two of saying, hey, I can look at the installation requirements and say, hey, this isn't quite matching. The building owner hasn't maybe realized,
paid attention.
They changed their metal widget from a metal widget to a plastic widget because it was cheaper, faster, whatever. Now it's not meeting the design criteria, but the ITM technician who's been out there every year maybe can't call that out on their report.
Yeah, it might be supplemental, or they might not notice, right? Because, I mean, how many placards? You see the same thing, right? Placards and as-builts, for some reason, once they do acceptance tests, like I think there's fire protection pixies and fairies that just pluck them off and throw them in the dumpster, it seems like.
Yeah, no, I'll get that question from time to time. We get our system ITM'd every year or every quarter. Shouldn't the contractor pick that up? And then we just explain to them it's kind of outside the scope of what their goal was for that day. So that's
that, or the other one that you'll hear is the fire marshal was just out here and didn't say anything about it. But it's like, okay, they have so many other things they're looking at.
Right.
So maybe that wasn't the top of their priority list
fire
either. So you're kind of filling that, filling that interesting gap. But that might also be, one of the interesting parts of the job is navigating that conversation with the building owner, the contractors, whoever else is involved, right?
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of different sides of the fire protection industry that we all kind of have our own piece of it, but kind of as one big complete group.
Right.
So we've mentioned fire sprinklers quite a bit. Are you only looking at fire sprinkler?
No. We'll look at hood systems. We'll look at fire detection. We'll review sprinkler alarms, water flow alarms. We'll review alarm systems. We'll do pretty much anything.
Special hazards, alarms.
AS systems around ASRS.
You had to drop that in there.
I did. Yeah.
So you got some hidden knowledge in the magical solution for us since you're dropping that?
No, I don't think there is a magical solution. I wish, but I mean, we'll get there, and it's kind of a case by case basis. Yeah.
And it's interesting because I think up until this point, we've got at least 10 of these podcasts done, and we see a trend. So to our contractors out there listening, those ASRS or automatic storage and retrieval systems, those big warehouses, we're all in the same boat and wish we had more information. We're just going to have to take it case by case and go from there. That being said, I'm guessing the beautiful lithium ion batteries also potential issue for you.
Lithium ion batteries, the solar panels, PV panels, on sprinkler parking garages. Those are kind of a lot of the hot button issues right now.
All on the same boat from the AHJ side. fire marshal, both insurance, that conversation came up on the consulting side as well as on the contracting side. So it's really interesting to hear that as different our jobs are, and to be completely honest, like as difficult. And I think it's because of communication that each person's pointing fingers at the other person, right? Not oblivious to that. Like, there's times where contractors like that pesky insurance guy made that joke, but there's sometimes on the pesky insurance guys like that pesky contractor, right? So this is not the same thing, but we're all in the same boat trying to get the same thing achieved.
Yeah. We're all trying to protect people and protect property, and there's just not research data out there for certain things, but you got to start somewhere and start chipping away at it. And, you know, what may be something we think the direction of something's going to go, it may change after we get more data. So you have to kind of adjust and move forward.
So you're taking a look at those Fire Protection Research Foundation projects and data, and I'm sure on the insurance end, probably doing some of your own projects. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. So this has been a very interesting discussion. Another strange oddball question for you. If you were a type of sprinkler, which sprinkler would you be and why?
You're gonna love this. I mean, I'm a big guy, so I'm a K34, right?
Oh, put a lot of water down.
Yeah, I'm an ESFR. Yeah.
I'm trying to get someone just to say they're a special sprinkler, and we know all of our guests are special, but
that's you, man.
Fair enough. I guess I'm the special sprinkler. So you'd be you're up for a challenge. You like to protect challenging things, and okay,
absolutely.
Might be digging deeper into that than it was at face value, but trying to get a little dirt on you, Jarrel. Not an easy one to crack.
No. Cool, calm, and collected.
So, any questions you have, Eric? Anything?
I think we've got them all covered.
Yeah. So, well, really appreciate you coming on, and I think it's important for the contractors to realize that if you start to get early onto a project and you start to hear the insurance carrier being brought up in some of your meetings, to reach out to that customer and try to have the conversation so we can both be on the same page at the same time for multiple reasons. Get the hazard protected appropriately, but that's going to save you money in the long run. So really appreciate having you on.
Thank you.
Insight.
Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed it.
No problem. I guess we're going to go play in the lab a little bit, spray a couple sprinklers, and thank you to all of our listeners. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and take a look at us in all the major podcast platforms. Really appreciate the support that you guys have had in listening to our podcast. This has been the K Factor Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share wherever you tune in to podcasts, or head over to our website for more. Reach out to us anytime at technical@firesprinkler.org. Stay safe and always learn as we keep the fire protection conversation going.